In the vast silence of the upper atmosphere, where radar waves travel farther than human eyes can ever see, one aircraft has reigned as the master of awareness, coordination, and air command for nearly 5 decades. It doesn't break the sound barrier. It doesn't fire missiles. It doesn't chase enemy jets. Instead, it decides when wars begin, how battles unfold, and which side walks away victorious. Welcome to Wings of War, and today we dive into the aircraft that has shaped modern air dominance more than any other, the Boeing E-3 Sentry, truly one of the real kings of the sky. Before the first squadron takes off, before the first jet locks onto a target, before the first missile leaves a launcher, the E-3 Sentry is already at work. Its mission: command, control, and complete situational awareness. If the sky is a battlefield, the E-3 is the general. If modern warfare is a chessboard, the Sentry knows every move before the opponent even touches a piece. With its iconic rotating radar dome mounted above the fuselage, the E-3 has become one of the most recognizable and important aircraft in military aviation history. The story of the E-3 Sentry begins during the Cold War, when the threat of long-range bombers and low-flying cruise missiles pushed the U.S. Air Force to rethink how air defenses were managed. Traditional ground-based radar systems simply weren't enough. Terrain, curvature of the Earth, and limited range meant enemies could sneak through undetected. The U.S. needed a solution in the sky, a radar platform that could detect threats from hundreds of miles away and coordinate entire fleets of fighters with absolute precision. That solution arrived in the 1970s when Boeing combined its reliable 707 airframe with one of the most advanced radar systems ever created, the Westinghouse AN/APY-1 radar. This massive radar, housed inside a 30-foot rotating dome, changed everything. Suddenly, the US and its allies could monitor vast sections of airspace from a single aircraft. The radar could track hundreds of targets at long distances, even those flying low to avoid detection. But the real power of the E-3 wasn't just seeing, it was commanding. Inside the aircraft, battle managers, radar specialists, and weapons controllers sit at large consoles, staring at a constantly updating map of the battlespace. Every enemy aircraft, every friendly fighter, every missile trajectory, every threat, all represented in real time. From this airborne command center, they can direct fighter jets, guide interception missions, warn ground units, and even coordinate large-scale air campaigns. When the E-3 first entered service in 1977, it instantly transformed the way the US and NATO operated. For the first time in history, air command officers were not limited by ground equipment, they could watch the sky from above the battlefield itself. This gave NATO unprecedented early warning capability during the Cold War, making the E-3 a cornerstone of Western air defense. But the E-3 Sentry's legacy was sealed in the early 1990s during Operation Desert Storm. While fighter jets like the F-15 and F-16 battled for air superiority, the E-3 Sentry quietly orchestrated everything from behind the scenes. It managed the entire air war, identifying enemy aircraft, vectoring US fighters into perfect positions, and ensuring that not a single mistake occurred in the chaos of battle. US pilots called it the Guardian Angel, because whenever they lost radar, couldn't find an enemy jet, or needed emergency support, the E-3 was always there to guide them. Many experts say that without the E-3 Sentry, the US and coalition forces could never have achieved air dominance so quickly. It didn't fire a single shot, but it ensured victory by turning information into overwhelming power. But the E-3 Sentry is not just a wartime machine. It has been used in disaster relief missions, search and rescue operations, surveillance of illegal flights, and even homeland security. After the 9/11 attacks, the E-3 helped patrol US airspace, providing unmatched awareness in a time of crisis. During natural disasters, when communication networks fail, the E-3 becomes a flying hub, linking rescue teams, aircraft, and ground units. Over the years, the E-3 received continuous upgrades, new radars, faster processors, improved communication systems, and digital displays. Some of the later versions feature the AN/APY-2 radar, capable of looking farther, detecting more, and operating in more complex environments. Modern E-3s can detect stealth aircraft under certain conditions, coordinate drones, and manage multi-country air operations with absolute precision. Despite being built on an older airframe, the E-3's strategic value remains unmatched. Even today, few aircraft in the world can provide the level of command and control that the Sentry offers. That is why several nations rely on it, including the United States, NATO, Saudi Arabia, France, and the United Kingdom. Wherever tensions rise, the E-3 is one of the first assets deployed, because knowing what the enemy is doing, before they know what you're doing, is the most powerful advantage of modern warfare. The E-3 Sentry embodies a simple truth: knowledge wins battles before weapons do. It gives fighters the ability to appear exactly where they are needed, at exactly the right time. It gives commanders the ability to plan air campaigns with confidence. It gives nations the ability to protect their skies with an invisible shield of awareness. One of the most impressive aspects of the E-3 is its endurance. With aerial refueling, it can stay airborne for more than 10 hours, watching the sky continuously. Its massive radar dome rotates non-stop, scanning 360 degrees, updating data every few seconds, and sending information to aircraft and command centers instantly. Imagine being able to see hundreds of miles in every direction, anticipate danger long before it arrives, and direct the entire air war from one aircraft. That's the power of the Sentry. Even as 6th-generation fighters and hypersonic weapons begin to dominate the future, the E-3 Sentry remains irreplaceable. Newer systems are being developed, including the E-7 Wedgetail, but the E-3 continues to serve because its role, airborne command and control, is more vital than ever. In a world where speed, stealth, and long-range missiles shape conflict, knowing the battlefield in real time is the key to survival. The E-3 Sentry is not just an aircraft, it is a force multiplier, a guardian, and a mastermind. It is the silent commander that ensures victory long before the first shot is fired. That is why pilots, strategists, and commanders all agree, the E-3 isn't just part of the Air Force. It is the Air Force in the sky. So the next time you see a fighter jet soaring fast and low, remember that somewhere high above, the E-3 Sentry is watching over it, protecting, guiding, and making sure the mission succeeds. This is Wings of War, where we honor the machines that shaped history and continue to dominate the skies. And when it comes to air power, awareness, and control, the Boeing E-3 Sentry will forever remain one of the true real kings of the sky.